The Hawks, they knocked off the Sixers. Poor Doc Rivers. 4 straight Game 7 losses. You hate to see it, obviously. But the East Finals, we're going to have Atlanta and Milwaukee because, as we know, Brooklyn went down to Game 7 as well. That one going to overtime. So the Bucks, massive, minus 480 favorites here going into this series, Kenny. But from what you've seen from Atlanta, any hesitation in taking the Hawks at plus 350?
Is there any hesitation in Trae Young when he takes the three? No. I have no hesitation here. Look, here's the dirty truth about the Milwaukee Bucks. They forgot how to play offense, and that is going to hurt them in this series. The Atlanta Hawks, we criticized them all season long about their defense. They were 18th, I believe, in defensive rating. They were just below league average. And all they've done in the postseason is dominate on that end. And, at first I thought, okay, well, maybe, Julius Randle is the reason why the Knicks aren't scoring. And, then we thought, okay, well, Joel Embiid, Meniscus, and Ben. I just think this Hawks defense is pretty good. It's pretty good. And I think that they're worth trusting here against a Milwaukee Bucks team that could not even break through the Brooklyn Nets defense. So I do think that there's a lot of value here. The Bucks defended well. You got to give them a lot of credit in that last series against the Nets, even when they were healthy, they still posted good defensive ratings against the healthy Nets, except for Game 2. That was like the only time they really, fell apart. But I think this is a pretty evenly matched series, to be honest with you. So I do think that there's a lot of value in taking a massive underdog like this.
Remember, Kenny, on the DraftKings Sportsbook, you can do more than just pick your winner and all sorts of fun player props and everything else. You can say exactly how many games you think the East Finals are going to go. How are you feeling about it?
I think that this is going to go a lot further. And if I look at the lines here, I like over 5.5 games at minus 114. I just think that the Hawks can get at least 2 at home. I think that perhaps the Bucks win in 6. That's my prediction. Bucks in 6. If you want to take the correct score on Bucks in 6, which also, happens to be a meme as well, it's plus 400. So there's a lot of belief there that could certainly happen. But I don't think this is going to go 7 games, but I certainly don't think it's going to be a sweep. I certainly don't think it's going to be a gentleman's sweep. I think it's going to be at least a 6-game series. So I like the over 5.5 games here, just for the reasons I mentioned. The both defenses are playing pretty well. I'm going to be targeting the total all season, or all series rather. But if the totals are low, the scoring is low, I don't see how the Bucks run away with this series.
Of the 4 teams left, of course, the Bucks, the Hawks, the Clippers, and the Suns, Atlanta has the longest odds to win a championship on the DK Sportsbook, plus 1,100. What to you makes the most sense in terms of title odds?
Well, this kind of is probably the same answer as the next question, or maybe even 3 questions in this interview or this segment. But I think that the Los Angeles Clippers at plus 800 are a very good bet to win the NBA Finals. Look, I know, their odds are not that great, right? The Milwaukee Bucks, they're the odds-on favorites. The Phoenix Suns, if you wanted to pivot off the Bucks, probably go with the Phoenix Suns. If you wanted some crazy odds, you want to take a title winner that's like, not almost even money, go with the Clippers, plus 800. Here's the thing. They are the deepest team remaining in the NBA playoffs. They have the deepest bench. They have a fantastically talented team, a great coach that has been Mr. Adjustment all postseason long. It's taken him like games at a time. He doesn't do in-game adjustments. I mean, he does sometimes, but he's made incredible adjustments throughout both series. He's a very good coach. I think that he's the best coach remaining in the NBA playoffs is Ty Lue. So I think that if you have the best bench, the best coach, and God forbid Kawhi Leonard comes back from injury, this is incredible. This is an incredible line. And while, the Kawhi thing is very unknown, I really think that we could see some sort of underdog story here, some incredible story with the Clippers maybe winning the finals without Kawhi Leonard. Paul George has been that good, and the role players here have been that good. It's worth a bet if you don't want to lay down your hard-earned cash on something that's about even money.
All right. Well, I suppose then the answer to this question here for you is going to be yes, but I'll ask the question anyway. The Suns, they took Game 1 just barely, 4 points in beating the Clippers in that opener, and that's without Chris Paul, who reportedly is symptom-free. He's been in the league's COVID protocol, nearing a return, hopefully sooner rather than later. We will find out. But right now, minus 455 Phoenix to win that series. Is it worth it to jump on the Clips?
Yeah, it is. This is one of the most outrageous lines I've ever seen. I'm going to be completely honest with you. This is outrageous that the public and the odds makers alike have collectively come together to throw doubt on the Los Angeles Clippers, considering how triumphant their victory was over the Utah Jazz. When you look at how this series breaks down. This was almost a game that the Clippers won. They almost won game one. I mean, they were there all game long. The Phoenix Suns defense had its worst defensive rating of the postseason at over 121 points per 100 possessions. The Clippers shot over 42% from three. Paul George was scoring the basketball incredibly well. And it took a 40-point triple-double from Devin Booker to get the Suns over the finish line. Remember, the Clippers led this game in the third quarter, and it was a 2-point game in the last minute. Why in the world, after one game at home, with the Clippers tired, mind you, after a grueling 6-game series, the Suns had all the rest in the world. Why are the odds the way they are right now? I don't understand it. And I think that the Clippers are absolutely worth taking because I think that they could easily take game two. They're not 6-point underdogs. I mean, they are according to the DraftKings sportsbook, but I don't think that they are. And again, Chris Paul, if you take June 16th when he was placed in the COVID protocols, you put 10 days on top of that. That's minimum. That's been the NBA's minimum. Then he's going to be out for 4 games. If Chris Paul is out for 4 games, we've seen how this defense performs without Chris Paul. It's not good. The Clippers can easily take the next 2 games and flip this series on its head. And then you have a chance to just hedge with the Phoenix Suns and lock in some profit. I really, really like this price on the Clippers, and I just can't believe that we're getting it.
So as mentioned, minus 455 to win the series for Phoenix. You hated that. I'm assuming plus 310 to sweep. You must really despise.
I don't like it. Yeah, because again, I'm pretty sure we don't know, right? The NBA has not said how long Chris Paul is going to be under the COVID protocols. But if we're just going by what we know, if we're going by what we know from the NBA season, it's been 10 to 14 days, then he has to miss at least the first 4 games of the series. And if he does miss the first 4 games of the series, I don't think that the Suns can win all of them. Again, we saw the defensive performance. It was not good. And when you look at the way that the Clippers have adjusted all postseason long from 2-0 down, from facing elimination, Ty Lue was throwing DeMarcus Cousins and Rajon Rondo out there for game 1 minutes. He was throwing Terrence Mann out there for game 1 minutes. Terrence Mann didn't see the floor till game 3 in the Utah series. I really think that he's kind of trying to rest the guys he's going to have to depend on. We might see more Marcus Morris in game 2, but the Clippers offense has been on a roll against 2 pretty decent defenses, and the Phoenix Suns didn't know what hit them. The Phoenix Suns have met their match here with a team that can shoot the 3 just as well as they can and has, some big time scores the way that they have. So I do think that this is an evenly matched series, and absolutely the Los Angeles Clippers are going to win at least 1 game.